Hi, I'm Christa Cooper. I am a business owner. I own a career coaching, resume, and professional services firm here in the Kansas City area. I wanted to talk to you about the Way of the Spirited Shaman apprenticeship. So, Phoenix asked me to talk about three areas. The first question being, what drew me to the apprenticeship? And if I'm being honest, I would have to say, I don't know. I believe my intuition, my higher self. I had been working on a practice of saying yes when I felt my intuition calling me to something, even if my head said no. And for me, my head said no at first about the apprenticeship. That's not for me. I don't know that I'll fit in. I think it might be way too woo-woo. Those were the kinds of thoughts I had about myself. And what I found was that when I listened to my intuition and I talked to Phoenix about it anyway, and just said yes and put my hat over the fence to enroll and register into the program, I just immediately started seeing changes in my life. So I don't know what I expected to get out of the program. And I think it's perfectly okay to be in that space. When you start, it was more about trusting my gut and trusting myself. And that's one of the big things that I've learned through the course of the apprenticeship and continuing my work on a shamanic journey has been how to listen to my own voice, how to say yes to my own voice, even when my head or my logic might say something otherwise, and to know that I'm being pulled in an authentic direction that I can trust. And that came out of the time and the community and the practices that I learned and worked on through the course of the apprenticeship. The second point, with regard to what kind of change did I see in my life as a result, it would be difficult to quantify all of those because there have been so many. Fundamentally, it altered the grounding for me in my life. I already had a rich spiritual practice. I did come out of a Christian background that I am still highly connected to. I go to church, and I use these practices in my life. And I would say that my grounding in being very clear about how the universe and spirit drives my life, and being connected and listening for spirit, listening for myself, and trusting that to lead me in my decision making in everything, from the timing of big decisions in my life to day-to-day occurrences and how I interact with people. I think all of my relationships are richer. The daily practices that I use for myself to connect to my own spiritual work have come out of the apprenticeship and the work that we did. And I think having the space and freedom to learn a lot of different tools, and then again listen for which ones were really mine, which ones really spoke to me, which practices best fit what works for me in my life, was such a gift out of the program. Um, let's see. I think that's probably the biggest thing, a degree of confidence. I think self-confidence in by being a very grounded person now, or at least having access to tools when I'm not being very grounded, has fundamentally changed how I interact with all the people around me in romantic relationships, family relationships, friendships, relationship with self. Um, One of the things I commented on recently to a group of apprentices was that something that's really different for me now is that instead of trying to be somebody different in conversation, like work on communication tools, I just show up as the person that I've always wanted to be, because I have a degree of confidence in that communication that I didn't have before. And the apprentice program was an enormous component of developing that for myself. And then the last point was, what have I gotten out of having a community, a spiritual community? It's everything. I think having a community of like-minded people who are in the experience of growing and learning using a common set of tools, a common set of jargon or language, and you're walking that path together is instrumental, because not only did I not feel alone, but I also learned so much from watching other people's journeys. I learned more about myself and how to look for different things in my journey by listening to their journeys. And those people have gone on to become some of my best friends and people I still communicate with on a regular basis. I can't imagine growing spiritual practice without community. It's that important to me in my life. So I highly encourage you, if you're feeling drawn to the program, ask your questions, trust your intuition, and I look forward to hopefully meeting you through the community of work that surrounds Way of the Spirited Shaman. Have a good day.